like right before the game like that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's interesting. Last year we tested every day, and I don't think we ended up having any positives on game day. We had quite a few of ours last year, the day before the game, day before the trip, or the day of the trip. But first time in my recollection that I can remember having one on game day, the morning of. So, we hope Star gets better and quickly. Not ideal, but I'm real proud of the way the guys responded. The defensive line, the defense, everyone, the staff went into action pretty swiftly there. Kevin Meegank, Nate Bresky, Brandon Bean, all the people that helped out did a great job.
Sean, you were pretty open about needing a running game. Did you feel like you challenged your offense? And if so, were you pretty happy with how they responded
Yeah,
today?
I thought Brian Dable called a great game. I really did. And changed the look, enough, and changed the profile of the offense. And I thought that was well executed and good to get Steph going there. And he gives us a ton of energy.
So many big offensive games over the last couple of years, but this kind of game, when you're running it and you keep doing it, what's that do for a team?
Well, just ask an offensive lineman what that does, right? It's good for all of us. It's good for the entire football team, and it was fun to watch. It really was. The running backs making plays, offensive line helping us make plays in the running game, and then getting the ball up in the air a couple times to some really good receivers, and then hitting the tight ends. I mean, it was a good game plan, as I said, by the offensive staff and Brian, and then Brian went and called a heck of a game.
Do you remember a game when every starting member of the secondary had a takeaway? Do you remember anything like that?
I don't know. They probably know, those guys in there. But yeah, just I thought the one that Trey got was high level stuff there in terms of really just playing his role in the defense, doing his job, and being where he was supposed to be. And that's always, when you do that and you see the execution, that's always fun to watch.
I had mentioned that there's doesn't seem like whatever he does, it's like he's almost at the sack week after week after week. He's been joking with Trey this week about it. How much have you been impressed with the way that he's played, even though that sack maybe hasn't come yet?
You talking about Ed?
I know.
Oh yeah. Very, very happy with the way he's developing, with room to go still, and I think he senses that. He's seeing the fruits of his labor, the fruits of his approach, and the work that he's putting in. He's seeing it pay off, and when you're bringing a young player along, that's exciting and fun to watch at the same time.
Sean, how much of the experience of last week, the week of preparation, whatever went on internally, how did all that kind of translate into what we saw on the field today, particularly on the offense?
Well, I mean, it wasn't just, those conversations weren't just specific to one side of the ball or the other. It was our entire team, and I really appreciate the leadership on our football team. I thought they did a great job this week, leading at that level, and that's great. That's a big part of it. We need that every week moving forward, and so I just think at the end of the day, you try and define the reality of our situation and where we were and how we got there and where we need to go and what the vision is going forward. And some of those are encouraging conversations. Some are, matter of fact and truth-filled conversations. And so I think that's the right balance.
Sean, you mentioned Stephon Diggs and the energy he brings to the offense. Just kind of follow up on that. When he gets going like he did today, how much does that put the other team's defense really on their heels? Yeah,
well, probably a better question for them, honestly, Josh. But he's an elite receiver for a reason, and let's not forget about E on the other side and what Cole did in the game, and then you bring Isaiah in and Gabe. I mean, that was again fun to watch. All 5 guys, maybe there was more, but I thought Gabe Davis made some huge plays for us as well.
Your defense has allowed 6 points in the first quarter all season. What is it about when you guys come out of the locker room to start a game about kind of putting your fingerprint on things right away?
Again, I think that give the defensive staff credit. Leslie Frazier has them ready to go. They come up with a good plan, and the players seem to understand the plan early in the game, which is critical to play well early in the football game. So But again, it's all three phases working together, because some of those are, hey, offense is possessing the football, or today you saw the defense go 3 and out field position. I think another 3 and out or a takeaway field position. So that complementary piece has to continue to thrive for us.
What changed for you guys with AJ replacing Tremaine?
I don't think much, really, just in terms of the way we called the game, the way we shaped the game plan. Listen, we need and want Tremaine out there. He's one of our leaders, one of our captains, and and has played a lot of good football for us this season. So, I think what you saw out there was AJ, a lot of trust and faith in AJ, and he's a good football player.
Sean, obviously you guys put Spencer Brown into the lineup for a reason when you did. What did you maybe miss when the last couple of weeks when he was out? And I know you like to watch the film on O-lineman, but can you give an early assessment maybe of what you thought he had today?
I can tell you, Jay, that I sensed an intensity and an energy from him. And that's as best I can tell you right now. And then we ran the ball, I thought, effectively, in particular in the second half, mostly I think in the third quarter. Again, a young player. Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame yet. Okay, please help me with that. He's a young player that has to continue to learn what it takes to play in this league, and he knows that. And that humble and hungry approach, man, is real, and we need to carry that forward next week.
Gold Jackets, Matt Breida, had a really good game. A guy that hasn't seen a lot of playing time this year. What did you see from him?
Yeah, he gave us a spark, I felt. I thought the receivers, what I could tell, blocked well too. On the perimeter, some of those perimeter runs that we had spread throughout the backs. That takes wide receivers blocking, which to me is a very unselfish trait, and that'll go a long way for our team and getting Matt in some of those runs and giving us a spark like he did. We got to do a better job protecting the ball. So I didn't like the way we finished the game. So we'll work on that next week.
Sean, how much had you planned on using Breida independent of Moss's situation with his injury? Meaning, how much did that weigh into whether or not Breida dressed today, or how much you used him?
Yeah, he was going to be in the plan. It was just a matter of how much. So at the end of the day, it was he's up, he's active for the game, and again, I thought Dave's called a great game in terms of getting him the ball in different ways. So, so he was in the game plan.
Even though just one catch, Dawson Knox's influence just being on the field as somebody that the Jets have to worry about. What did you see from that?
Yeah, he completes our offense just in terms of his role and what he means to Josh, and love his unselfish approach as well. He's one of the guys that is well liked, on offense, defense, and special teams, because of the energy he brings, and not only the player he is, but the energy he brings and how unselfish he is in his approach.
I saw Isaiah come in right before the game, kind of gather up the receivers and gave some type of speech. How much has he evolved as a leader? I mean, we think of him as the jokester, right? Isaiah McKenzie, yeah. But how much has he evolved as kind of a leader, as a guy in the room that has the respect of his teammates?
Yeah, we've got him, from Denver 3 years ago now. Was it off on waivers or no? Yeah. Practice squad. And, you look at how far he has come as a person. He's always been a good person, but just how far he's come in his maturity, how he's developed off the field, and then how he's developed on the field. And I'm just extremely proud of him. I really am. It's you love when you see a person like that have success. He's part of the reason why we are who we are. Just in terms of his story, you guys should look into his story a little deeper. He hasn't come from much, but he's offered so much to our football team.
Did he come out okay? He was banged up at the end there.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Nate. I believe so.
Gotcha.
So we're talking about intensity from whether it be McKenzie here or that anecdote or Spencer Brown, all the different things. It's hard. You can't manufacture it, but what did you try to do in the week leading up to this game after what happened last Sunday in terms of trying to get these guys to flip that switch? There is such a thing. I know that in the sports psychology of it, you think about that a lot. What about that aspect of the approach?
Yeah, I just felt, Tim, that really they did it. You know, it wasn't anything I did, they did it. And it was led by the leaders. So,
Sean, you fared well in the red zone today. How encouraging was that, your success?
That's
inside
big.
the 20-yard line?
yeah, it's big. You got to do that. You know, I thought we struggled. I think we had another opportunity or two in the first quarter maybe to go up with a wider margin at that point. You know, so red zone plays an important role every week, and I was glad to see us do what we did this week.
How much do you think Isaiah can help you in that regard? You saw what he did on the jet sweep. Is that something you want to see more of, maybe?
I mean, you know, it's just, again, that was great game planning by the offensive staff. So whatever the situation calls for, whatever they think is the right formula, that's what they're going to do.
Last one, what does Micah and Jordan mean for this team? Not only their play on the field, but their leadership.
Yeah, huge for me, for our team. I mean, every ship needs a rudder, right? In terms of to steer it where it needs to be, where it needs to go, and those guys do a phenomenal job, as well as some others here for us and for me. So it certainly helps out a lot. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.